The Internet in Serbia is well developed. The Internet Country Code Top-Level Domain, CCTLD, for Serbia is RS. Internet access is available to businesses and home users in various forms, including dial-up, cable, DSL, fiber to the home or business, and wireless. History. Introduction of the Internet. Linking of Yugoslavia into global electronic networks began at the end of the 1980s. The European Academic Research Network, ERN, was functioning in Europe at that time. In 1988, the Faculty of Natural Sciences and Mathematics in Belgrade proposed that Yugoslav universities join the ERN. The University of Belgrade became a node of the ERN in 1989, when the first international connection of the academic network between Belgrade and Linz became active. The capacity of this link initially was 4,800 bit per second and it was later doubled to 9,600 bit per second. The project of developing the academic network functioned within the project of developing the System of Scientific Technological Information, SNTIJ, and was managed by the University of Maribor and the Institute Josef Stefan from Ljubljana. These institutions took on the responsibility of organizing the first U-domain register between 1990 and 1991. UN sanctions. The development of the Internet in Serbia faced with very difficult circumstances. During the breakup of the former socialist state, in the middle of 1992, the UN Security Council imposed all-inclusive sanctions against the newly formed Yugoslav Federation of Serbia and Montenegro. The sanctions did not exclude telecommunications, and all such government-funded projects came under the sanctions. It was not long before the only Yugoslav internet link, connecting the Yugoslav academic network to ERN, was shut down. The sanctions prevented foreign companies from doing any kind of business with Yugoslav firms, so it was impossible to establish any commercial internet links with Yugoslavia. Before November 1995, the only way to access the internet from Yugoslavia was by using an extremely expensive and slow X25 packet network or by directly dialing ISPs abroad. These methods were used only by a few of the largest Yugoslav companies and by the academic network. Reintroduction of the Internet. After the Dayton Peace Agreement was signed in the middle of November 1995 ending the war in Bosnia, some of the UN sanctions against Yugoslavia were lifted, opening the possibility of decent Internet access. On the 14th of December 1995, Belgrade's Radio B92 formed an Internet division which became known as Openet, a 128 kbit per second leased phone line link between Radio B92 and the XS4ALL ISP in Amsterdam was sponsored by the Fund for an Open Society. Openet became the first Yugoslav ISP to offer affordable public internet access, email accounts, and web space. Like Radio B92, Openet strongly supported the internet as a means of free expression and promoting tolerance and open communication. The Electronic Frontier Foundation honored Openet's director Drazen Pantic as the F-Pioneer for 1999, in recognition of his continued promotion of these values and of his contribution to the development of civil society in Yugoslavia. Openet was also the first Yugoslav ISP to offer public internet access in 3 computer centers, known as Openet classrooms, in Belgrade. Shortly after Openet started up, on the 26th of February 1996, the first commercial Yugoslav ISP, Biotel, established a 512 kbit per second satellite link with the Norwegian ISP Tade.net. In April 1996, another commercial provider started up with a local branch of UNET International, now KPN Quest. It started with a 2 mbit per second digital ground link with Amsterdam and remains the largest and strongest ISP in Serbia. At the beginning of April 2001, UNET owned 2 satellite and ground internet links with an overall capacity of 10 mbit per second. During the 1999 NATO bombing of Yugoslavia, the internet was a significant source of information for the population of Serbia, as well as a chance for Serbians to show their view of the bombing to the world. Serbian analyses of the latter usually conclude that use of internet for this was successful. 21st century. Dial-up was the only way to access the internet until the early 2000s, when several ISPs started to offer wireless access via unlicensed hardware. The equipment required for access was too expensive for most people, about €200, so this type of connection was popular only in limited urban areas. The situation changed in 2002 when Serbia Broadband, SBB, then a growing cable operator, approached subscribers with a cable internet option of a tariff-based 128 kbit per second access. As of 2013, SBB offers speeds up to 100 136.5 Mbit per second. In 2005, national incumbent telecom Serbia started offering ADSL2 Plus service and in 2013 added VDSL2 service. Internet in Serbia today. Statistics. In the World Factbook reported that Serbia ranked 57th in the world with 4.1 million internet users. According to a survey conducted in 2011, about 2 million people in Serbia have regular access to the internet, with 99 of businesses and 62 of households having access. An interesting statistic is that 99.5% of students regularly use the internet. Types of internet access: dial-up, PSTN and ISDN, 6.2. Mobile access, 3G, HSDPA, 26.1. Cable internet, 35.6. ADSL, 32.1. In 2012, Serbia ranked 44th in the world with 1.1 million internet hosts. Broadband access. Cable internet access is offered by several providers, mostly in larger cities, and XDSL is available through a number of ISPs, all using the services of Telekom Serbia. Wireless access is also available throughout all of Serbia. XDSL providers: Biotelnet, Unet, Neobi, Orion Telecom, PTTnet, Telekom Serbia, Verate, YUBC. XDSL flat rate options: 5/1 Mbit per second from €13, 10/1 Mbit per second from €16, 20/1 Mbit per second from €24, 30 halves Mbit per second from €32, 50 halves Mbit per second from €52, 100 halves Mbit per second from €70. Some ISPs offer discounts of up to 15 or up to 40 on 20 Mbit per second service with a 24-month contract. Due to the relatively late introduction of ADSL in Serbia and rapid advancement of cable and Wi-Fi technologies that enabled quick and inexpensive expansion of infrastructure, those two technologies are widely used in Serbia for broadband access. Prices vary in different parts of Serbia, and depending on type of services offered. Cable service providers: Avcom, IKOM, PTTnet, Radius Vector, Serbia Broadband, SBB. Cable flat rate options: 15, 1.5 Mbit per second from €14, 25, 2.0 Mbit per second from €20, 40, 2.5 Mbit per second from €26, 60, 3.0 Mbit per second from €35, 120, 5.0 Mbit per second from €61. Wireless providers: Biotelnet, CS Networks in Smederevo, Madnet, Media Works in Belgrade, Neobi, Ninet in NIS, Panline, Pananet 5 GHz Wi-Fi ISP in Subotica, Su Online, TeamNet in Novi Sad, Tipnet in Subotica, Veratnet, Uvideo.net. Internet censorship and surveillance. There are no government restrictions on access to the internet, email, or internet chat rooms. There are isolated reports that the government monitors email. Individuals and groups are able to engage in the peaceful expression of views via the internet, including by email. The Constitution and law provides for freedom of speech and press. However, the Constitution specifically allows restrictions on speech to protect the rights and reputation of others, to uphold the authority and objectivity of the courts, and to protect public health, morals of a democratic society and national security of the Republic of Serbia. While the law does not include a specific provision on hate speech, it is a criminal offense to incite national, racial, or religious intolerance. In June 2011, the Constitutional Court banned the extreme right-wing organization Nacional Nastroje, National Front, for promoting racist hate speech. The Constitution prohibits arbitrary interference with privacy, family, home, or correspondence, while the law requires the Ministry of Interior to obtain a court order before monitoring potential criminal activity and police to obtain a warrant before entering property except to save persons or possessions. Police occasionally fail to respect these laws. Most observers believe authorities selectively monitor communications, eavesdrop on conversations, and read mail and email. Human rights leaders also believe that authorities monitor their communications. The law obliges telecommunications operators to retain for 1 year data on the source and destination of a communication, the beginning, duration, and end of a communication, the type of communication, terminal equipment identification, and the location of the customer's mobile terminal equipment. While these data can be accessed by intelligence agencies without court permission, a court order is required to access the contents of these communications.